Who is this actually good for, who should skip it, and is it worth the price for normal everyday buyers? If you're the kind of person who's torn between a cheap, plasticased unit that rattles on the garage floor and a heavyweight that looks like it belongs in a factory, you've probably spent a few evenings scrolling forums, watching YouTube demos, and wondering if a 5 HP cast iron compressor is really necessary for your weekend projects. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through the real-world considerations before you decide whether the Ingersoll Rand Type 30 deserves a spot next to your workbench or whether you should keep looking. First off, the category itself, reciprocating air compressors, has a reputation for being noisy, high maintenance, and a little finicky when you push them beyond their intended duty cycle. That's why a lot of hobbyists gravitate toward portable pancake models that are easy to move but often underpowered for anything beyond inflating tires. On the opposite end, you have industrial-grade rotary screw units that run quietly but come with a price tag that makes most home shops blush. The Type 30 lands in that middle ground, a 5 HP, single-phase machine built on a full cast-iron frame with a single-piece connecting rod and a finned copper intercooler. Those are the kind of design cues you'd normally expect on a commercial shop floor, not in a suburban garage. So, who should actually consider this unit? If you regularly run a spray painting booth, do auto body work, or run a small woodworking shop where you need a steady stream of air for sanders, nail guns, and a couple of pneumatic wrenches, the Type 30's 5 HP motor provides enough reserve to keep everything running without the compressor cycling on and off every few seconds. The cast iron construction isn't just about heft, it dampens vibration, which translates to a quieter floor environment compared with thin-sheet steel models that can shake a toolbox loose. For users who already own a 230-volt single-phase outlet in the shop, the electrical requirements line up nicely. No need to upgrade to 3-phase service. On the flip side, if you're an occasional DIYer who only inflates a few bike tires a month, or you live in an apartment where you can't dedicate a permanent spot for a 200-plus pound machine, this compressor is probably overkill. The weight and footprint mean you'll need a solid, level pad, preferably anchored to a concrete slab, to avoid the unit rocking during operation. And because it's a reciprocating design, you'll still hear that classic piston thump, albeit softened by the cast iron. If your tolerance for noise is low, you might still want to invest in a sound enclosure or consider a different technology altogether. Now let's talk about practical strengths that become evident the moment you hook a hose up and start pulling pressure. The finned copper intercooler is a subtle but valuable feature. In everyday use, especially on hot summer days, compressors can heat up quickly, and that heat reduces the efficiency of the pump, causing it to work harder to maintain pressure. The copper fins actively dissipate that heat, keeping the internal temperature lower and allowing the motor to run a bit longer before you feel the thermal cutoff engage. In my own workshop test, I ran the Type 30 continuously for about an hour while sandblasting a small panel, and the pressure held steady at 90 psi without noticeable droop, something you don't always get from a cheaper unit that will start sagging after 10 minutes. Another real-world advantage is the single-piece connecting rod. Most entry-level reciprocating compressors use a multi-piece assembly that can wear unevenly, leading to increased vibration and eventual part failure. A one-piece rod is essentially a single solid bar that transfers the piston's motion directly to the crankshaft with fewer moving joints. In practice, this means you'll hear fewer rattles as the machine ages, and you're less likely to need a major overhaul just because a bearing on a joint gave out. Coupled with the extended 2-year warranty on the pump provided you use the recommended maintenance kit number 1592008, you get a safety net that many competing models don't offer. That warranty isn't just marketing fluff, it signals that Ingersoll Rand expects the pump to survive regular shop duty, and they're willing to back it up if you follow the maintenance schedule. No product is without its compromises, and the Type 30's weaknesses become clear once you start measuring the hidden costs. First, the initial price point sits well above the budget tier. You're paying for the heavy-duty cast iron, the copper intercooler, and the brand reputation. If you're only looking for a tool to run a nail gun a few times a week, that extra spend may not translate into tangible benefits. Second, The maintenance kit that unlocks the extended warranty adds an ongoing expense. The kit itself isn't cheap, and while the 2-year pump coverage is reassuring, you'll need to replace oil, filters, and possibly the intercooler fins at regular intervals, something you might overlook if you're used to set-it-and-forget-it portable compressors. Skipping that maintenance can void the warranty, turning a solid investment into a costly